Hi VC, how you doing? It's 8 minutes after 1 a.m. Saturday morning, and I'm just kind of unwinding from seeing Paul McCartney play Safeco Field here in Seattle. And I it was a show that I wasn't going to go see because I'd seen him a number of times before, and the last time I saw him, which was in 2005 2006, I was at that time kind of concerned about how his voice sounded, and I didn't want to really see him if his voice wasn't going to sound all that great. And I had just listened to a few YouTube clips and was concerned, but I shelled out the dough and got really good seats and was pleasantly surprised back then. His voice was great, great show. Couldn't be happier. So this time around, I thought, I don't really want to, spend the money and to go and hear him not sing very well. And then the more I thought about it, I kind of had second thoughts. I started looking for tickets, and friend here on Facebook, Marsh, who's in the VC on Facebook, was telling me, kept prodding me a little bit, saying, it's probably gonna be his last tour, or he might be the only time he's in Seattle again. Who knows? You should go see it. So I found one. I found like nothing but single tickets and one really good seat, front row, 300 level, kind of almost straight onto the stage. So great. It was on the aisle, and I could have leg room and sit back and relax, not worry about anybody standing in front of me. And so I plunked down the money. It wasn't very much for that particular seat, and I could just sit back and relax and watch the show and enjoy the whole show, not just have to. Although Paul was like this big, but they had big screens that made him look like he was 80 foot tall, which was nice. Because I was watching the TV. I was pretty much watching the monitors all the time. Anyway, so yeah, I was surprised. His voice held up. He sounded really good. Now, when he sat down to play solo at the piano or play something at the piano, and didn't have so much backup, or was singing songs that just seemed a little bit out of what his register could handle at this time, it was a little hard to listen to. It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. Not what I expected it to be. But you could hear that it was a little difficult for him to sing some of the tunes. But then, man, some of those songs, it was just like, it was 1976 again, or 1990, or whenever, or 2005. It just was no problem whatsoever. So I was pleasantly surprised. I'm glad I went. I'd heard earlier in the day that there were rumors that there was going to be another Nirvana reunion. Someone had said that Chris Novoselic and Dave Grohl and Pat Smears they were all in the city at the same time. They're never all in the city at the same time. So this means something's going to happen. And so I'm thinking, oh, okay, that would be kind of cool, but there's always those kinds of rumors, and they just never pan out. The longer we got into the show, which was great. I mean, just every single song was no disappointment. I wasn't sitting there going, why is he doing this song? There's a lot of songs he had never done before. So it was just great. Enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm getting towards the end of the main portion of the show before the encores, and you're always going to get at least one encore, probably two with Paul. And these were 3-hour shows, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 3-hour encore show. But getting towards that, I'm thinking to myself, how would they do that? How would they bring Nirvana in and do that song? It would just break the flow of the concert. It just brings everything to a halt. I don't know how they would do it. So the main show ends, and there's that break. Comes out for the first encore. Does want to make sure I get it right. Does Day Tripper, yeah, which is pretty rockin'. They did a real rockin' version of Day Tripper, which is pretty cool. And then and back in my mind, I'm going, well, this might be a good place to do that, because I'd actually cheated and looked at the set list that was done on a show recently, because I was trying to figure out a time. I couldn't find any merch tables. I wanted to buy, T-shirts and something, I couldn't find, as I was going in, I didn't see any of it. And so I was looking to see, okay, well, if he does Hey Jude, I have heard him sing Hey Jude twice, and I can pass it by one more time. So, I I don't need to hear it a third time. I've experienced Hey Jude in a concert setting, so I would give that up to go and try to find a merch table and buy something. And, I walked out and they said, "Oh, the 300 level table sold out. There's just something down in the 100 level." So I didn't want to run down to the 100 level and run back up and all that stuff. So turned around and came back in, and I'll just go down later after the show, try to see what's left, if anything is. But how'd I get on that? I don't know. Oh yeah, I was looking at the set list. So I remember it was Day Tripper, and then it was supposed to be Hi Hi Hi. And I think Hi Hi was supposed to be next. Did they do it? I'm looking at a set list here that's already up for Seattle, and it's not right. Because I don't remember them doing Hi Hi Hi, and Hi 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 was part of, it was like the second song in the encore. So they get done with Day Tripper, and then McCartney starts going, you know, there's some people I want to bring some special friend out, special guests out tonight. And it was like, I just went, wow, he's going to do it. What else could it be? And I'm thinking, what else could it be? So, wait, great, the rumors are, it's going to happen, I'm thinking to myself. They did, and out comes Dave Grohl, and out comes Chris Novoselic, out comes Pat Springsteen. And they do the song that they did together for the Sound City documentary that Dave Grohl put together, and it was called something. People are screaming at it right now. Cut me some slack, that's it. I knew I was going to forget that. I actually looked it up. I had to find it. I had to look it up. I was going to try to cheat and make it sound like I knew the song. I title, but I recognize the song from hearing it on the Sandy Relief benefit. So they did that. I thought, wow, that's great. You know, that was really cool, terrific, yeah. And Dave Grohl's just smashing the drums and just, you know, he's playing with 4 sticks. He's just going nuts. It was just great. You know, everybody was freaking out. Everybody was just, you know, like the guy next to me. Not one time during the show did he really applaud after a song or anything like that. He was just sitting there, a younger guy. But after this, he was like going. So that was funny. Hey, you finally found something you could applaud. Great. But then McCartney keeps them around, and they play with the band for the rest of the show. I'm pretty sure, because they did Get Back. They tagged along for Get Back. And then Encore 2 came out. He came out and did Yesterday. And then there they were again with the rest of McCartney's band, the guys from Nirvana. They did Helter Skelter, Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight, and The End. And then at the end, they all took a bow as one big, huge band. That's a pretty unique thing. I mean, all the reports I've been reading about all the other McCartney concerts, you know, it's this song was switched for that song. Oh, special. You know, he hasn't done this in any other city. Well, this was a pretty special concert, and this is a pretty special thing. They're not going to do this in any other city, so that was pretty nice. And this is fun. This is one of those things I can say I was there. I was there. This is just the worst camera in the world. I was there. Look. I was there at the Nirvana reunion with McCartney. Anyway, so that was great. The whole thing was just, I'm so glad I went. It didn't matter if I'd been in the last row. There were people sitting way up in the 300 level off to the side. The only way they could have seen anything is if McCartney came out and on the edge of the, you know, where his microphone is on the edge of the stage. Otherwise, they didn't see a show. I don't know what it is they saw. I don't think the tickets cost that much. They couldn't have. But they were there, and they heard it, if nothing else. It was pretty amazing. So, it looked sold out, even though I think there were probably a few single tickets here and there. But anyway, so it was a great evening. I really enjoyed myself. Glad I went. I tried to get some merchandise. I tried to get something. Everything was sold out. I finally found one merch table, and Marsh had mentioned this. He had seen this before. And it's this very cool old style Wings t-shirt. And it's even got a Paul McCartney logo on it or something. I don't know what it says, but it says something. Paul McCartney, blah, blah, blah. So forth and so on. Anyway, it's sort of like his monogram thing. But so this was very cool, retro wing shirt. And very happy to have that. I guess they had programs, but I never saw any of them. They were all gone. And I just missed out on getting a tour shirt, although they pulled it off of the rack, and that was probably a medium or something, or large. Yeah, I mean, they were selling, everything was being sold out. So hopefully maybe somebody will have something up on eBay. It'd be nice to get a tour shirt that had all the cities on the back of it. That's usually what I like to try to pick up. But I wasn't able to get that this time. That's okay. That's fine. This Wings shirt is actually pretty cool. I'm glad to get that. And, seeing what I saw, that was a one-off. They're not going to do that anywhere else with bringing Nirvana up on stage. And not just one song, but the whole, rest of the first encore and almost all of the second encore except for yesterday. Well, it would have been interesting to have heard Nirvana's take on yesterday. Anyway, that's it. Just a little over 10 minutes. Thanks for watching this. Sorry it's so dark, but it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to bed. Good night, everybody. One more shot at the t-shirt, because that'd be a good way to go out.